relationships and deep interactions there, and how it changes. You know?
Like, it's so much fun when you're Batman and you're interacting with Gordon. We come in as Bruce, and you are right there with Bruce. You know what happened while you were Batman. But Gordon thinks he's talking to an entirely different person
an
at
idiot.
this point. Yes,
The
right?
relationship's different.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, right?
And it's so much fun to sit there with Gordon as Bruce, and when you have the option to make little jabs at him, like that are kind of, you're in the know, you get this duality, you get the real Batman experience, which is Gordon is a completely different Gordon when you're in the suit than when you're Bruce. And you can have fun with that. It's a really rich space for us to play in.
Is there always just an option though? Just tell him you're Batman?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
tell him.
just the
Tell him
I'm Batman button.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I had no
Instead
idea.
of the silent option, we've just got I'm Batman.
Yeah. Game ends, credits roll, you're arrested on the scene. Done and done. Tony, why do you think Batman is as big as Batman is? I guess that he's so popular because he's the most relatable. He's just a human guy, and his only superpower is being Batman.
You know, he trained as a kid. You know, he trained himself.
Yeah.
And you know, he made himself the ultimate fighter, the ultimate detective, and you know, that's what he's dedicated his life to, is to prevent what happened to him as a child, that trauma. He doesn't want anyone else to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So you know, you can't not like a guy that wants to do that. You know, he's a good guy. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a good guy. Why not give him a shot?
Sacrifice his life for everyone.
So then for you guys, like, is that how you come at it? Like, did you have to interview people? Did you all come into a room and talk about what Batman is to you and how that would play out in this game?
Yeah, we all got around with people at Telltale and people outside of Telltale and really kind of dug into, like, because there's so many different takes on Batman. Which kind of Batman do we think is the most interesting and most compelling? And we definitely like everything you talked about, but we also like that Batman is this kind of dark, like there's a little bit of crazy in there. Like he's kind of broken.
Yeah, just a bit, if he's gonna dress up as a bat and run around.
Exactly, and that makes even his friends, you know, Alfred and everybody, a little nervous, and people are trying to look out for him while he's looking out for everybody else. And it's ultimately kind of a lonely space to be in. So he's super heroic, and he's got all of these skills, and he's really motivated. But there's also this dark, kind of broken side to him that affects everything about him, and we let you explore that, kind of the more emotional side of that, in our game. When that's one of the things that we do really well. So that's one of the things we really lean into our version of Batman.
And then I guess I'm gonna stick with you for a second, all right? Is that okay?
Sure.
Hold my hand for a second. You're the big cheese at Telltale.
Yes.
You've been around a long time. Long time.
Yes.
You're very old.
I am, yes. They wheeled me in here for that.
Out of the cryogenic sleep,
Yes.
you came here to talk about it. What year is it? A question for you would be, when you, in the early days of Telltale, did you imagine this was a possibility that you'd be working on Batman?
Oh, we always aspired to be able to work on things like Batman.
Sure.
I think it's pretty much like pinch me that we're actually working on Batman, because it is so huge and it's such an important thing in popular culture. But this is always what we hoped to compete with. We wanted to entertain people in a really high-class way, the way that Batman has always done. You know, the best storytellers in the world work on Batman, and the fact that we've been invited in is awe-inspiring from something we started, you know, years and years ago.
Sure.
And it's been a steady march of kind of learning the craft of interactive storytelling to kind of earn a place where, like DC trusts us to come into the Batman universe and make a product that competes with all the other games, all the other movies, and things. Like it's a high bar, and we've got all of our biggest guns pointed at it to make this incredible Batman experience, but it's still uniquely Telltale, and you know, it's pretty amazing from my perspective that we're here and we're actually doing this.
So we've talked, I keep bringing it back to like the beginning, but that's what we is, since you haven't let me play the game yet. When you guys find out, you're excited it's Batman, is every day, or was it one day of, like, you got to design your own bat suit and make your own Batmobile and make your own Batcave, and like that's like the nerdy stuff that I would lose my mind to do.
Yeah.
Was it just moment after moment of like, we're gonna do, oh my, we can do this.
Every day's like that.
Yeah.
It continues like that. It's like, oh, we need to make a new gadget, and we can invent a new bat gadget. It's like, what do we need? That's really cool.
Shark repellent.
shark repellent is exactly what we came up with.
Yeah.
So I guess, great minds think alike.
It's you know,
So
the classics.
things like that, or even things like, okay, we're working on a villain that's from canon. What do we want them to look like? Because we don't have to make them look exactly like they have in the past. We want to have nods to that, obviously, and so that you understand who it is. But we get to make our own unique take on them, which is really kind of fun and super interesting as well.
And it's not just the new stuff that we're inventing. I think it's the twists that we're able to put in, the unexpected stuff. Like I said, it starts at a very familiar place.
Yeah.
But the things that happen to relatively familiar characters over the course of the season, and that happen because of the way you play, are I don't think we've seen characters evolve in this way in any other aspect of Batman canon. So it ends. It's definitely its own unique lane.
You just tell me already. By the end of episode 1, do you feel I'm already seeing that results, that I'm seeing like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they've done this to that character?
Yeah, the character that's the problem is an unexpected character.
Alfred.
It's Alfred.
It's all Alfred.
Yes.
Good old Al.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Tony, as we get ready for episode 1 here, because this video is closing out soon, and then we go to cryogenic sleep till we get it. What do you want out of episode 1? Like, what do you want out of this Batman story?
See, one of the things that was like on my mind is like, what characters, what other villains are we going to see? And because I would imagine you guys would kind of have to hold back, for future chapters, future seasons, and all that. And so, you want to see the popular characters, but at the same time, you want enough time where everyone is fleshed out enough. Like, I'd like to see Condiment King. And he's a character he shoots ketchup.
I know Condiment King, yeah.
But
I want to see Batman just really twisted on
at the
his
same
head.
time, as much as you might want that, it's like, well, maybe that's not the best way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more Joker or someone else. And
Yeah.
Condiment King is featured prominently throughout
yeah. So what? So far, and I'm not even saying villains. We know Harvey Dent's in there. We know Catwoman's in there. Like we said, Falcone's in there. And that was like, that I love that exchange. Just to not to give you too much props here, but like that was such a great part of the E3 demo was Bruce talking to him, and because that was the first moment where I was like, we're making decisions as Bruce Wayne, and how does that affect it, and how's it going to affect Batman? And when we get in there, and it's like, do you shake his hand in front of this room full of people?
Yep.
And it's such a small thing, but it's like, under no circumstance do I shake this guy's hand, but then I don't no longer look like this stupid playboy that I am.
Right.
And then I was like, man, it was really hard, I guess, for Christian Bale to act drunk in that scene. Because I never thought it would be, but here I am in these moments as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that I think are unique to the Telltale experience. Is you're standing in front of Falcone, you're not going to beat him up, you're not going to do anything. You're on stage, you're literally at this gala with people surrounding you, and he holds his hand out. And the press and everybody is watching Bruce do this, but as the player, you're sharing that Bruce experience. You know that this is a bad guy you don't want to shake hands with.
Right.
You know what it would mean. And that's one of those classic Telltale things. What's the right choice there? And there isn't really a right choice. If you shake his hand, then now you're playing as the playboy and it's not a big deal and you're aloof and all of that. If you don't shake his hand, you're a badass, Bruce Wayne.
Suddenly you have a backbone.
You're giving him a message. And that influences the way he interacts with Bruce for the rest of the game. So you're on stage, you're faced with this, relatively simple scenario of, do you shake this gangster's hand? And that's a big deal in a Telltale game.
Now, I feel like the one thing we haven't talked about, which is weird because we're so deep into the show already, is your cast. You've done a great job of casting this in IMO. Of course, you've done the same thing that always happens where you fell into this Troy Baker trap. Once you let Troy Baker in one of your games, you get all of his cronies, as Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey.
They're all fantastic, though. So how do you say no, right? They're fantastic. And so, yeah, we're super excited about the cast.
I'm assuming there were auditions and everything else, or did you guys know from the get-go?
No.
What did Troy bring to Batman that's why you wanted him?
I think it's a lot of what Troy brings to Batman and Bruce, right? Because it's two roles that he's got to play, not just one. I think he brings a real. First of all, the guy's just super talented, right? He's just great.
Too handsome too.
He's a little handsome, yeah. Anyway.
I'm just saying he has too much,
yeah,
is all I'm saying.
You got me all
I
flustered
understand,
now.
Troy, you're talented. You also need to look good all the time. Amazing scarf collection, good socks.
See, that I didn't know. Now, yeah.
Oh man, next time he's up here, just drop it out of the blue. Hopefully you meet him, or you have him up here before this post. Be like, hey, I heard you like socks. Be like, oh yes, I do. Would you like to talk about them? And then he'll do that thing where he whips his hair back and be like, well, I was in Paris. And look,
Everybody signed Troy up for Sock Club.
but no, so he comes into audition.
Yeah, and he brought just a real good understanding of what the character is, on both sides, Bruce and Batman. He just plays it really well. He gets kind of the brooding billionaire part. He gets the Dark Knight part. He gets the more gentle Cape Crusader part. So we can get all those different things that we need from him really easily. And he's a huge Batman fan, so obviously he knows a lot. He understands what we're doing, and he asks a lot of really great questions. When we say, hey, we want you to do this, he's like, that's different than Ken. We're like, yeah, this is what we're doing, and this is why this is cool. And he's like, oh, okay.
He's like, I refuse to do that.
Yeah.
Walks off set. That's not my Batman.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. Well, no, what I thought was interesting, talk to me about your Harvey Dent. Because when I'm friends with Travis Willingham, so I know him already as this big, hulking, lovable dude. Yeah. And then I'm playing the game and Harvey Dent shows up and that's exactly who it is. Is that how your Harvey Dent was always going to be, or did Travis influence that?
Well, I think Travis influenced it a little bit.
Yeah.
But we were always going with we wanted a big Harvey Dent because of where Harvey may or may not go.
Yeah.
Right?
Based on my decisions, telltale, how you doing?
That's right. We thought it would be a cool evolution to have
Sure.
somebody that's a little bit bigger than Batman there. So that was part of it. Also, he just brings a real good kind of politician nature to Harvey.
Yeah.
Because in the start of episode 1, Harvey's running for mayor. And so that's what that gala is that you played in the E3 demo, where it's a campaign thing. So he plays that role really well as the politician. So.
Sure. Laura Bailey, Catwoman, Selena Kyle.
Awesome.
Is there any reason? I don't think you.
Yeah.
She's been in a million things. You watch it. She's Catwoman, nails it. But what I'm excited about you, Laura. Don't get me wrong. But then I like that you guys, for the first time, unless I'm wrong, which I rarely am, first time you're working with this Richard McGonagall.
I think it's our first time. Yeah.
Yeah. He's so good as Falcone when he
he's
came
Falcone.
in. Yeah.
He is literally a comic book gangster, right?
Yeah.
So you want to portray kind of the fantastic kind of comic book nature of it, but then you want it to be a real character as well. I think all the parts here are it's this fine line between being realistic and dramatic, yet still being a fantastic kind of comic book universe.
Sure.
And it's really challenging for all the actors, particularly for Troy, because he's playing 2 different parts. And they're all really bringing their game to the part. They're really, really committed to like finding that balance between the crazy comic book universe and grounded in like some really good drama.
I was just wondering, do you have to pay Troy twice for playing two roles?
No,
We do not.
You should be his agent. You could have done.
But we have to book him for a lot of hours because
He
he's got a
makes
ton
us
of
do them in
lines.
separate sessions, and he dresses differently each time, which is
Before we wrap up, any questions you have for these guys? Burning questions as the Batman fan. I'm super excited they're doing their own thing. They're taking Batman and making it. I'm excited for when we get off the beaten path, when it isn't just what we know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to have earlier in his career. So he's not the ultimate, Batman that can do anything. So, because I'm assuming as I play the game, I may make some mistakes.
No, you?
I don't know, but
No.
so it would make sense if it's a younger Batman for that. I'm really curious, sort of decisions you make. How drastically does it affect the game? Like, is there like I just played, this chapter. I need to replay it now, as a nice Batman versus brutal Batman is like a huge difference.
Yeah, so it's a typical Telltale game. So branching is a part of it, but it's not like there's going to be 100 different endings to it. It really is how you role play and how the relationships you make and the story, the narrative affects all of the characters. So everybody plays kind of a very similar story, but it's really tailored to how you play. You're playing your own version of Batman and your own version of Bruce, and you're going to be developing different relationships with all the characters than I might or anybody who plays it, but you're going to be able to share the circumstances and talk about like that, do you shake Falcone's hand or not? That's, we can make different decisions there, but we get to talk about like, well, why did you do that? I would have never have done that.
And that's what we'll do in this show
Yeah.
when the episodes are out and you've played them.
Yep.
talk about decisions.
That was always one of the things that I loved and hate, like in Walking Dead, where you make a decision, it's like, oh, if I should have made that other decision, and so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
So yeah, it would be, nobody wants a Batman game, or we don't want to deliver a Batman game that doesn't have Falcone in it. So it's not like your choice determines whether he's there or not.
Gotcha.
So your choice has to determine how he feels about being there and what his motivations are and why he's doing the things he's doing, and that's